Welcome to the Buff Show podcast, broadcasting from Appeals Law Group, and we're brought to you in conjunction with the American Adversaries radio show. And you can listen to that show live at 5 p.m. every Sunday through Friday at AmericanAdversaries.com, or if you're in Central Florida, over the airwaves at AM 950 and FM 94.9. I am the Bufferman, Matt Buff, and I am joined by the host of the American Adversaries radio show, philosopher and political mad scientist, my good pal, Christopher Hart. There's how we do it now.
Oh, to hell with that. Give me a hand. Shake my hand. There you go. All right. How you doing, Matt?
Good to see you, Chris. As always, what a week it's been.
Indeed it has. It's been a wild week and promises to be even wilder next week.
Chris, I don't want to start on a dark cloud, but this week there's this huge dark cloud of fear just following me around. And, I get away from it and I start feeling good about myself, and then I turn on Neil Cavuto or something like that. And this fear.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's just hard to avoid the fear cloud. And I'm proud of myself because I get away from it, and I try to help other people get away from it. But, Chris, the fear selling has been at an all-time high. Let's just start there.
Well, let's start there because that's part of the intent here. All right. This is all about fear. All right. It's not so much about a disease as it is about the fear of the disease. We talked about this on a recent podcast. I'm going to start calling this the Great Wuhan Democrat Hoax, because that's exactly what it is. What you have here is a cruel, diabolically sinister plan to destroy the United States, both from without and, unfortunately, from within. All right? Because the goal here is the same. Now, the outside partners have their goals, the inside partners have their goals, but the end goal is the same. And that is that they want the United States to no longer be a superpower, for one. They don't want it to be a nation state. As a matter of fact, they want to do away entirely with the concept of sovereign nation states, states that have their own constitutions. They don't just dislike our Constitution, they dislike all constitutions, because socialism is a worldwide plan. That's why all the globalists are in the same pack of thieves here, ladies and gentlemen, and that's exactly what they are. They're trying to steal our liberty, they're trying to steal our money, and they're trying to steal our very way of life. And if you don't believe me, just take a look around. And the fear is the motivating factor that they have generated in order to accomplish their goals. They want to end the United States as a nation state. They want to end the concept of the nation state. They want a globalist society. Well, after all, diseases don't have borders, do they?
Or nationalities, or skin tone. Diseases don't have racial preferences.
Isn't it?
We know that. That's a stupid thing to say.
It's the great equalizer in their eyes. It's the old Rahm Emanuel thing. Okay, never let a crisis go to waste.
He even came back on TV this week and reiterated that and said, hey, I want to remind Democrats, do not let that go to waste.
So let me clarify a little bit what I mean when I call this the Wuhan, China / Democrat Party leftist media hoax. Okay?
Great book title,
but go
ahead.
Is the Chinese had discovered very early on what we talked about on the last podcast when we discussed this subject, and that is that first of all, they figured out pretty quickly that either this was not easily transmittable, or if it was, that it wasn't all that virulent. In other words, wasn't all that harmful. Oh, what did he just say? Yeah. Well, who said that yesterday? Deborah Blix.
She did.
She damn sure did.
When she was doing her segment during the 5 o'clock news time that they do, she was talking about the fear. She was talking about, guys, when we look at the underlying numbers, it's just not as bad as we and some people initially thought.
Here's the good news. She said that yesterday. Here's the bad news. If you didn't hear it on the American Adversaries, well, we said it 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, we said the numbers don't add up. 3 weeks ago, we said either this is not as virulent or not as contagious as what we're being told. The Chinese knew that all along. They also knew because they watched what the Russians did with the peeing on the bed. Look at what just a simple, stupid little rumor that Trump hired prostitutes to piss on a bed. Look at what they did. They put our entire elective process in turmoil. And how did they do that? They had the useful idiots, a term coined by Vladimir Lenin, by the way.
Yeah.
All right.
He wrote about that.
Yeah, the useful idiots, the academics, the students, and the media, all right, and in this case, the Democrat Party, carried the water. What they did with the Russians is they took that and used it for their own purposes and their own goals. They did the Russians' dirty work for them.
That is the bulk of the Russian dossier that you're talking about that launched this whole thing.
Exactly.
That is the text in the dossier. But
Right.
go ahead, Chris.
And Axios, not me, Axios. By the way, we've been saying this all along for weeks now. You know, some people are just a little slow. On the show, we call ourselves Titans of Talk Radio, the voice to be reckoned with, because we're always out front, cutting edge stuff. All right, so the others follow us up. Axios, just yesterday, this will be March the 26th, published an article talking about, they called it, let me read it here, I want to get the title right, China takes a page from Russian disinformation campaign. Not only did they take a page, but they wrote a whole other chapter with it. So they figure out they got this disease, all right? Only they know about it. And the people that are trying to tell the world about it, they either execute or put them in prison or shut them up one way or another. Okay? So they know they got this disease. They know that it's not all that bad, but they also know that with just a little prodding, they can inspire, shall we call, the leftists, the medias, and all the stupid idiots out there on Facebook and Twitter, that they can run with their storyline. Oh my God, this bug is going to get on all of us. Stay away from me.
Hide in the bathtub.
Speaking of that, let me tell you this. And we're going to have to go quit, but we'll bring this up in another segment, okay? But let me tell you this. If you ran out and bought toilet paper, the Chinese, the Russians, the Democrats, and the liberal media made a damn fool out of you. If you ran out and bought all the hand sanitizer you could, they made a damn fool out of you too. And if you didn't listen to the American Adversaries radio show, that was foolish as well.
We're going to do a part 2 of this segment. Thanks for watching part 1. We've been coming to you from the Halscott Magaro Law Firm Studios. Visit them online at www.appealslawgroup.com. Don't forget to listen to the American Adversaries radio show every Sunday through Friday, live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, all right? On AmericanAdversaries.com or AM 950 and FM 94.9 in Central Florida. Matt Buff and Christopher Hart. We'll see you soon.